Good morning, students. Here I am, Mrs. Tanya, your English teacher, and we are going to start the story Fritz, chapter number 2 of Eco's book, that is prose. And this story, Fritz, is by Satyajit Ray. Okay. Now, seeing this picture, you will be a little bit shocked, little bit frightened. This picture is like a doll, a European doll, whose name is Fritz. Okay, and this is the story by Satyajit Ray. Now, first, before moving to the story, you should know little about Satyajit Ray. Satyajit Ray was a Bengali motion picture director. He was a director, writer, illustrator who has really brought the Indian cinema into recognition. Okay, and his stories were really a kind of suspense, a kind of different sequels he gave to his story. Okay, detective kind of stories he write. So as a writer he used to write things, as a movie director he used to direct the movies. And this story, that is Fritz, he is telling about the horror, the paranormal genre, which were published as a collection of 12 stories, and Fritz is like one of the paranormal story. Okay, and here in this story Satyajit Ray, he is telling about a doll who is really unusual, who is not a usual doll like whom with we play. Unusual doll, the shape is very different, and it is actually a non-living doll, but it, at the end you will see it is regarded as a ghost, as a ghost it is. Okay, so the means the readers cannot find out whether it was a real doll or whether it was a ghost. Now, listening to the word doll, you feel like a with what the girls play, a normal Barbie doll. But here, a male kind of figure, a shape, but that is called a European doll. It look was different, its features were different, and then you will see what happened in the story here. The two characters are mentioned in the story. One is the narrator and other one is Jayanto. Okay, Jayanto is one character and narrator whose name is regarded here Shankar. Okay, narrator and Jayanto are the two character. Narrator whose name is Shankar, he is a school teacher, and Jayanto, who is narrator's Shankar's friend, he is a newspaperman who is working in the newspaper office, editor. Okay, now here you will see the story Fritz Satyajit Ray. I told you about him. You let us start the story. It start like this. After having stared at Jayanto for a whole minute. Now who is telling this story? The narrator, means Shankar. I could not help asking him, "Are you well? You seem to be in low spirits today." Now the story start like this, from the end to the beginning. The story starts that Shankar stared at Jayanto for a whole minute and asked, "Are you okay? You seem to be very low," means not cheerful. Jayanto quickly lost his slightly preoccupied air, gave me a boyish smile, and said, "No, on the contrary, I am feeling a lot better." He said, he just gave a look and said, "On a whole, I'm better. This place is truly wonderful." They have come to the place, a place which he said it's wonderful. "You have been here before, didn't you know how good it was?" Now Shankar asked Jayanto, "You were here early?" Like here now, in the beginning you will see Jayanto and Shankar, they went to a place in Rajasthan known as Bundi. Okay, they are at that place. The story starts from that. And then Shankar is telling that how we came to Bundi and then what happened in Bundi. And Bundi was a place where Jayanto's childhood was spent. Okay, there his childhood was spent, and afterward when his father got a transfer, he came to other place. So now after a long time, after a long year, he is going back to Bundi for a visit with his friend Shankar. So the story begins with the, like what you can say, where they are at present, and then we are coming to know what all happened. Now he said, "You were here, you don't know about this place." I had nearly forgotten, Jayanto sighed. Now some of my memories are coming back slowly. The bungalow certainly appears unchanged. I can even recognize some of the old furniture, such as these cane chairs and table. He said, I was very young that time, I forgot some of the thing, but slowly seeing the thing, seeing the place, I am recognizing. The bearer came in with tea and biscuits on a tray. I poured. Now the servant came with the tea and biscuit, and they drank. When did you come here last? He said, when you came here last? He said, 31 years ago. I was 6 then. When Jayanto was 6 year old, that time he was there. 31 years old. So now what will be the Jayanto's age? 37. This time where the story is going on. We were sitting in the garden of the circuit house in Bundi. We had arrived only that morning. Jayanto and I were old friends. Now Shankar starts that we are in Bundi, and then he tells that Jayanto and I, we were old friends. We had gone to the same school and college. Means childhood friends they were. Same school and college. He now worked in the editorial division of a newspaper, and I taught in a school. Means he was working in an editorial division of newspaper one, and Shankar was as a school teacher. Although we had different kinds of job, it not made any difference to our friendship. We had been planning a trip to Rajasthan for quite some time. The main difficulty lay in both of us being able to get away together. That had at last been made possible. Now both the friends were planning to have a outing, that is in Rajasthan, but the thing was that both of their profession was different, so they couldn't take out the time to move on, but finally they took out the time and they went to Rajasthan. Most people go to Jaipur, Udaipur or Chittor when they go to Rajasthan, but Jayanto kept talking about going to Bundi. Now Shankar said most of the people when they go to Rajasthan, they want to go to Jaipur, Udaipur, Chittor, but my friend Jayanto, he was only talking about going to Bundi in Rajasthan. His main topic was that we have to go to Rajasthan and we have to visit Bundi. I had no objection for having read Tagore's poem, The Fort of Bundi. He said, I had no objection of going there because I had read Tagore's poem, that is The Fort of Bundi. And I was certainly familiar with the name of the place and felt a pleasurable excitement at the prospect of actually seeing the fort. He said, I was very happy that I will go, and at least I had read that poem and I will see that fort also. Not many people came to Bundi, but that did not mean that there was not much to see there. He said many people don't visit Bundi, it's not a very great place, but it doesn't mean there is nothing to see. It could be that from the point of view of a historian, Udaipur, Jodhpur and Chittor had a lot more to offer, but simply as a beautiful place, Bundi was perfect. He said, historian if there are, they would like to visit Jodhpur, Udaipur and Chittor, but Bundi is also a beautiful place to visit. However, Jayanto's insistence on Bundi did puzzle me somewhat. He said somewhat, when Jayanto was insisting only on Bundi, somewhat it confused me. I learned the reason on the train when we were coming down. He said when we were coming down, I understood why he won. Jayanto's father, Animesh Das Gupta, had worked in the archaeological department. His work sometimes took him to historical places, and Jayanto had as a child come to Bundi. He had always wanted to return after growing up just to see how much the modern Bundi compared to the image he had in his mind, because when he was young only he has seen, and his father used to get transferred to places, so he couldn't see now how is Bundi. So he wanted to see the modern Bundi with that image what he had before. The circuit house was really rather splendid, built during the time of the British. It must have been at least 100 years old. It was a single-storied building with a sloping tiled roof. The rooms had high ceilings and the skylights had long, dangling ropes which could be pulled to open and shut them. The veranda faced the east. Right opposite it was a huge garden with a large number of roses in full bloom. Behind these were a lot of trees which obviously housed a vast section of local birds. Parrots could be seen everywhere, and peacocks could be heard but only outside the compound. Now Shankar is telling about the building there, the circuit house. There was single story building. The room had high ceilings, very long dangling ropes were there to pull to open and shut them. The veranda was facing at the east. There was garden, there were parrots, the peacocks, and everything was there at that place. Shankar observed everything. We had already been on a sightseeing tour of the town. The famous fort of Bundi was placed amidst the hill. Now the fort of Bundi, what this Shankar read in Tagore's poem, that was placed in midst of the hills. We had seen it from a distance that day but decided to go back to take a closer look. Now that time they have seen that place from a far away look. Now they decided to go near. The only reminders of modern times were the electric poles. Now only what something modern came were electric poles. Otherwise it seemed as though we were back in old Rajputana. Otherwise it was seeming that they are in a very like big mansion or palace Rajputana place. The streets were cobbled, the houses has balconies jutting out from the first floor. The carving done on balconies, the carving done on these and the wooden doors bore evidence of the work of master craftsmen. It was difficult to believe we were living in the age of machines. Even the streets, the houses, they were of the old model. The carvings were done. The carving were done. The carving were done on the walls, and it was very difficult to believe that we are now living in the age of machines. But these people are not living in the age of machines. And then what Shankar did, I noticed Jayanto had turned rather quiet after arriving in Bundi. Now what Shankar observed, that when Jayanto came to Bundi, he was very quiet kind. He was just looking at everything but not speaking much. Perhaps some of his memories had returned. It was seeming that he is now remembering. As he was a young child, he couldn't remember everything, but now seeing the things, it felt that he is remembering. It is easy enough to feel a little depressed when visiting a place one may have seen as a child. Besides, Jayanto was certainly more emotional than most people. Everyone knew that. But Jayanto was a very emotional person. Everyone knew about that. He put his cup down on the table and said, "You know, Shankar, it is really quite strange. The first time I came here, I used to sit cross-legged on these chairs." He said, "You know, when I came first, this chair, I used to sit cross legs. It seemed as though I was sitting on a throne." Because Jayanto was small and the chair was big, it used to feel that he is sitting on the throne. Now the chairs seem both small in size and very ordinary. But now Jayanto is a grown-up man, so now chair is looking very small and ordinary. The drawing room here used to seem absolutely enormous. If I hadn't returned, those memories would have remained stuck in my mind forever. He said, if I would not have come back to this place, then only I would had the memories of my childhood when I was 6 years old. Only that memories were there. But now I came here, I could get back the other memories and I could see the things. I said, yes, that perfectly natural. As a child, one is small in size, so everything else seems large. Now Shankar said, that is true, that is but natural. When you are a child, rest of the thing for you is big in size. Ones grow bigger with age, but the size of all the other things remain the same, doesn't it? He said, when you grow big, the other things get used to be seem small. So it happens. We went for a stroll in the garden after tea. Jayanto suddenly stopped walking and said, "Deodar." Now what happened? They went to the garden. They were walking and suddenly Jayanto said, "Deodar." Deodar is a tree. I stared at him. A deodar tree? It ought to be here somewhere, he said, and began striding towards the far end of the compound. Why did he suddenly think of deodar tree? As he came to the garden, his mind turned to call deodar tree. Now he said that in this garden somewhere this tree is there. Now Shankar was thinking why he is thinking of the tree suddenly. A few seconds later I heard his voice exclaiming jubilantly, Yes, it's here, exactly where it was before. Now suddenly he moved around the garden and finally he found the deodar tree. He said, yes, exactly it is here where it was before. Now the tree will not go to somewhere else. If you plant a tree at the left side of your house, after 10 years also it will be at the left side of the house. But Jayanto's excitement was like different, that tree is at the same place. He said, see, it is at the same place. Of course, it was before, I said, would a tree go roaming about? So Shankar said the same thing. Why, tree will be at the same place only. Will it roam about here and there? It will be at the same place. Jayanto shook his head impatiently. No, that is not what I meant. All I meant was that the tree is where I thought it might be. He said, I also know that, but my means I was happy saying where I thought the tree should be, there only it was. Means what it came in his mind about the tree, this place, that same place the tree was. Then, but why did you suddenly think of a tree? Jayanto stared at the trunk of the trees, frowning. Then he shook his head slowly and said, I can't remember that now. But Shankar said, suddenly why you thought about the tree? He was just looking at the trunk of the tree and he said, I can't remember why I asked or why I thought about the tree. Something had brought me near the tree. I had done something here. Now he said, something has brought me. I have done something near this tree. Then he said, a European. Shankar said, European? No, I can't recall anything at all. Memory is a strange business. He said a word European and then he said, I can't recall. I said, memory is a strange business. They had a good cook in the circuit house. Later in the evening, while we sat at the oval dining table having dinner, Jayanto said, the cook they had in those days was called Dilavar. He had a scar on his left cheek and his eyes were always red. But he was an excellent cook. He said that time we had a cook and we used to call cook as Dilavar. And he had a scar on his left cheek and his eyes were always red, but he was a very great cook. Jayanto's memories began returning one by one. Now you can find out one by one Jayanto is remembering or getting back the memories. Soon after dinner, when we went back to the drawing room, he could recall where his father used to sit, smoke a cheroot, where his mother used to knit, and what magazines lay on the table. Now slowly when he came, he sat in the drawing room. He just remembered about his father. He used to smoke this place. So he used to smoke at this place. His mother used to knit here. The magazines, all the memories were returning back. Slowly, in bits and pieces, he recalled the whole business about his doll. Now, from here, the thing starts about the Fritz. Now, suddenly, his thought came about the doll. Now, then he said it was not the usual kind of doll little girls play with. He said, I had a doll, but it was not usual what little girls play. One of Jayanto's uncle had brought for him from Switzerland a 12-inch long figure of an old man. It was a doll, but it looked like an old man dressed in traditional Swiss style. Like Switzerland, it was a doll from Switzerland dressed like a Swiss. Apparently, it was very lifelike, but the doll was looking like it is a living thing, living doll. Although it was not mechanized, it was possible to bend, twist its limb. It was possible for that doll to bend, to twist. Its face had a smile on it, and on its head it wore a Swiss cap. Had a smile on the face, wore a cap with a little yellow feather sticking out from it. Its clothes, especially in their little details, were perfect. Belt, buttons, pockets, collars, socks, everything was perfect. There were even little buckles on the shoes. Means a full dressed man, like an old man, the doll used to look. Properly dressed with a cap, with a feather, with a shoe, with belt, with button, with everything. The doll used to a perfect gentleman like that. His uncle had returned from Europe shortly before Jayantos left for Bundi with his parents. The little old man had been bought in a village in Switzerland. This little old man means the Fritz were brought in Switzerland. The man who sold him had jokingly said to Jayanto's uncle, he called Fritz. He gave the name to the doll. That his name is Fritz. You must call him by this name. He won't respond to any other. He said, only by this name you should call out him. He won't respond to any other name. Jayanto said, I had lot of toys when I was small. My parents gave me practically everything I wanted. He said, I had lot of toys and my parents gave me whatever I asked for. Perhaps because I was their only child. And why they gave me everything? Because I was the only child of them. But once I had Fritz, he said, but once I got Fritz, I forgot. What he forgot? I forgot all my other toys. I played only with him. He said, I forgot about my other toys and only used to play with Fritz. A time came when I began to spend hours just talking to him. Our conversation had to be one-sided, of course, but Fritz had such a funny smile on his lips and such a look in his eyes that it seemed to me as though he could understand every word. But the smile, the look of Fritz, it seemed that he is listening to Jayanto and he is understanding what he is saying. Sometime I wondered if he would actually converse with me, if I could speak to him in German. He said, I used to feel like if I speak to him in German, he will reply to me. That lifelike means doll was not seeming to be just a doll. It was a lifelike doll. Now it seems like a childish fantasy. But at that time, the whole thing was very real to me. That now I feel like it was a childish fantasy, but that time everything was seeming to be real. My parents did warn me not to overdo things, but I listened to no one. I had not yet been put in a school, so I had all the time in the world for Fritz. Jayanto's parents used to tell, don't do the things over. Don't do it like that. But he had no one, means he never heard to anyone. He used not to go to school, so he had full time only playing with Fritz. Jayanto fell silent. I looked at my watch and realized it was 9:30 p.m. It was very quiet outside. We were sitting in the drawing room of the circuit house. An oil lamp burned in the room. I asked what happened to the doll. Jayanto was still deep in thought. His answer to my question came so late that by that time I had started to think that he had not heard me at all. Now, when Shankar asked what happened to the doll, Jayanto did not reply. After a long time, he replied, but then Shankar thought that he forgot, that he did not listen to my question. I had brought it to Bundi, it was destroyed here. He said, I brought it to Bundi, it came to Bundi, but it was destroyed. Destroyed? How? Jayanto sighed. He said, destroyed? Shankara destroyed? How it got destroyed? We were sitting out on the lawn having tea. I had kept the doll by my side on the grass. I was not really old enough to have tea, but I insisted, and in the process, the cup tilted and some of the hot tea fell on my pants. He said, I was small. Tea was kept, and I insisted my parents to give me the tea. They told me not, and this way the tea fell on my pants. I ran inside to change and came back to find that Fritz had disappeared. I looked around and found quite soon that a couple of stray dogs were having a nice tug of war with Fritz. Although he didn't actually come apart, his face was battered beyond recognition and his clothes were torn. In other words, Fritz did not exist for me anymore. He was dead. Now I said, when I came back, I saw the stray dogs were having a tug of war with this doll, and everything was battered, everything was gone out. And in other word, if I say Fritz did not exist, means he was dead. And then Jayanto's story intrigued me. Intrigued means aroused me. And then Shankar was aroused by the story that the doll was dead, and why this doll was so unusual. Why is thinking about this doll? What is there in this doll? And this way the story moves on. There are more pages. We will continue in the next class. It is a long, big story. Okay, so till here I hope you all understood. You came to know about the storyline, that what is Fritz, and now Jayanta is telling about the Fritz, and then later on you will see how they found out Fritz and what all happened to Jayanto's life, and whether this Fritz was really a living doll or a ghost or an unusual doll, whatever you will come to know. Okay, that I will continue from page number 17 in the next video. Okay, thank you.